What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. Now, look, I just watched episode 4 of The Chi yesterday, and I wanted to give a breakdown or reaction to the episode in general. So, look, man, I ain't going to even lie. I feel like this episode went by extremely quick. Next thing I know, I was all into it, trying to see what was going to happen next, and it just cut off out of nowhere. And I don't know, none of the other episodes really felt like that to me, but this one in particular, it just felt like it ended like abruptly. And maybe because it was so much stuff going on that, I was just trying to see what was going to happen next, right? Like, man, okay, so let's start off. At the beginning of this episode, we see a flashback of Keisha talking to her mom Nina's wife, Dre. And I thought the audience was going to find out exactly why Keisha and Dre have a strained relationship. I thought we were all going to see what happened between them that caused Keisha not to like Dre, but instead we just see continued friction between the two individuals, the two characters, right? So I'm like, damn, like they're not going to say what happened, or we're not going to get to the bottom of why Keisha never really liked Dre or whatever, but we don't. Ronnie reveals in this episode, as I predicted in my previous video, my episode 3 breakdown, I predicted that Ronnie knew that white guy that showed up at Keisha's candlelight visual. I say he probably knew him from prison, and dude probably was in prison for some type of sexual crime. And then finds out that this guy is a guy named Jeremiah, and he was locked up with Ronnie for rape. Ronnie realizes this, and then he goes to try to chase this guy and see where this guy lives. He finds out where Jeremiah lives and breaks into Jeremiah's home while Jeremiah and his father are away. And when he breaks into this home, he sees all type of freaky, super freak fest in his house, right? Cyber sex, little reading materials, and all type of freaky reading materials. And then he finds something key. He finds pictures of young girls in Jeremiah's home. And he takes pictures of these pictures, and he's going to use this as proof to bring back to Dre to say, look, I may know who has Keisha. This dude, Jeremiah, is a creep. He creepy as hell. He's a predator in prison. He's out on the streets once again. He may have Keisha. So they go, he takes the information to Dre. Dre takes his word for it, and they go to try to confront Jeremiah. When they first confront Jeremiah, Ronnie does a great job, even though Ronnie is kind of malnourished because he is living homeless. And we see him in the episode, he's digging out of trash cans, and I'm starting to feel sorry for Ronnie's character because I'm like, damn, like, even though Ronnie was always a drunk, at the end of season 2, during season 2, he was beginning to get his life together, and then everything went downhill once Jason's girlfriend told him, hey, I don't want you around my daughter. I'll be better off without y'all. You're not even his real grandfather, so on and so forth. He starts to go down here after that, right? But we see Ronnie on the streets, and I'm like, damn, this is like a really big fall. But anyway, they confront Jeremiah. Jeremiah gets away the first time. The second time, Jeremiah can't get away, and they force him to give up some information. He then reveals that he just wanted to have a good time with the girl, and the girl is at the beach. I think the 63rd Street beach, right? And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, when he says this, like the way it was building up, like I was nervous as hell watching this episode. I'm like, man, please don't let this be Keisha. Please don't let this be Keisha. Like, I don't know, man. My heart started racing. I started feeling like, man, am I going to cry if this turns out to be Keisha on this beach? If he got Keisha on this beach, man, I was going to be like, oh, my God. It was going to hit me, though. Because, like, Keisha's a young, pretty girl. And, it really hits home because sex trafficking and child or girl abduction is a serious problem in America in general. Not just girls, because young boys getting abducted too. But I know a lot of young girls getting abducted, and especially a lot of young black girls, that are in the neighborhoods that I've lived in my lifetime. A lot of them are being abducted. And in particular, man, even in Chicago, in 2018, a young postal worker by the name of Kiera Coles, she was pregnant as well, pregnant postal worker. She went missing on October 2nd, 2018. Nobody still don't know where she is. She's still missing to this day. So it kind of hit home when I'm hearing about when I see this young girl that has been killed on the beach. We come to find out as they walking slower and slower towards the body, I figured it wasn't going to be Keisha the way the build up was towards walking to the body. I'm like, this can't be her, but I was still nervous at the same time if it makes any sense. Like, damn, you just don't know. Is this going to be Keisha or is it not going to be Keisha? Come to find out, it's not Keisha, thank God. But unfortunately, we found out this dude really is a rapist. He's a creep, and he really killed this girl. probably raped and killed this young girl, which is horrible. But you know what I mean? You feel for the young girl at the same time, but at the same time, you also like a sigh of relief to know it's not Keisha and Keisha is still possibly alive. Where Keisha is, we don't know, but hopefully they will get some leads on where she could possibly be coming soon, man. And also in this episode, we begin to explore the relationship between Emmett and Tiff, the mother of his son EJ or Emmett Jr., right? Now Tiff is down Emmett's back for not pulling his own weight around the house with their son. And while Emmett possibly could be doing more, I couldn't help but think, damn, all Tiff do is sit at home and smoke weed. She get blunted out. Every time we see Tiff, she lighten up. She's smoking strong. Every scene she in, she coming home sitting on the couch smoking weed, right? All she do is smoke weed. She go house to house selling the weed that she be smoking. And then she does all this while EJ is dropped off at daycare. So I'm thinking like, damn, like Emmett on the other hand got 2 jobs. He always trying to think of hustles to provide more income for his household and the other children that he has. He's always trying to use his brain to think of something innovative to get more money. So I'm like, damn, it's like, she down his back crazy. All she do is smoke weed, go house to house selling some weed while EJ is dropped off at the daycare. So I'm like, man, she kind of tripping. She tripping to me, man. And she tripping on Emmett not doing the dishes, right? I'm thinking the whole time, this ain't even y'all crib. This Emmett mama, Jada's house. So I'm like, this her crib in the first place. So she talking about you ain't did the dishes. I'm like, this Jada crib. Nonetheless, he still should be cleaning the dishes at his mom's crib. Anyway, but it was just something that was on my mind, right? And again, every time we see Tiff, she's smoking, trying to get her high and relax her mind with smoking some weed. And I'm thinking, at the end of season 2, she was pregnant. Did the writers forget that she was pregnant? You know what I mean? Or what happened to the baby? Did she end up getting an abortion? What happened with the whole situation? They never reveal that, and I'm hoping that we get to hear what happened with the baby further along in this season, right? And let's talk about that dude, Dante. Dante is a character played by Corey Hardrick. Corey Hardrick, who is the husband of Tia Mowry from Sister Sister, right? And Corey really a Chicago dude through and through. So when he's playing this, Chicago hood dude. He got this down pat. Like he really got it locked up. I'm like, this really is a Chicago hood dude for sure. Even from the hairstyle he got, his whole persona, his whole demeanor, how he really he trying to put that bug in Tiff's ear, putting that bug in Tiff's ear. I mean, he's trying to spit game at her. He's trying to spit G at her, and hopefully she'll catch the bait. And I thought she was gonna catch the bait. She came in and she been in there before. I'm seeing she comfortable with coming in the crib. She's telling me, you got new furniture? I'm like, damn, is this her dude? This her little dude she be dipping off with? Because remember, Emmett tripping because he ain't getting no sex at home. He go and talk to his father, Darnell. Darnell always got this Bluetooth in like a damn, that's a true Chicago old head. Always got a damn Bluetooth in his ear, and he always got a jumpsuit on or something. Every scene he got a jumpsuit on. Only time he had a real suit on was when he was at Nina and Dre's wedding. Other than that, he got a jumpsuit on at all times, right? But his damn daddy, who I don't think he should be listening to really. I mean, well, men know about women for sure. You know, but he talking to his daddy like, man, she creeping around on you possibly. And she a Scorpio. I'm like, man, if you don't get this damn silly horoscope type stuff out of here, man, trying to equate that to relationships and what she possibly could be doing. Is she faithful or not? Like, I'm like, man, whatever. But anyway, I'm like, damn, is Tiff gonna fall for Dante? Is she gonna get his man some in this scene? Like, what's gonna go down? She didn't ultimately, which was a good thing. But in my head, I'm thinking, the more she come over there, he gonna eventually get her possibly, cause he want her bad. I can tell how he looking at her and all of that, and he trying to tell her, when you need some good wood, you know where to find me at. I'm damn, like he really shooting at her. And as in my mind, I'm thinking she keep coming over there. She seems to be really cool and at ease around him. She kind of really is like, she ain't pushing his advances off strongly. She letting them down easy. I'm looking like, man, he gonna get to her. Cause look, if water hit the ground long enough, it'll put a dent in it eventually. You know what I'm saying? It'll dent the ground eventually if water keep hitting the ground long enough. So he keeps staying persistent. He may be able to knock that wall down and get to her. I don't know. And in my mind, I'm thinking too, Tiff be going to these dudes' crib selling weed. She ain't got no stun gun on her. She ain't got no mace, no taser. She ain't got a gun or nothing. I'm like, this could easily be a situation where Tiff could get robbed or worse, you know what I'm saying? knock on wood, or hopefully nothing like that happens. But I'm like, damn, she ain't got no type of protection on her. She going into these dudes' cribs. She don't know them. They really could be front they move, acting like they cool or whatever, acting like they cool, calm, and collected, but they really could be shiesty dudes. And Dante, something about him seemed super shiesty. Like he liked Tiff, but he seemed like a shiesty dude. And something tell me this ain't gonna be the last we see from his character. We gonna see his character some more as the season progresses, right? And I'm thinking that maybe while Tiff is selling his weed, I'm thinking, man, it would be crazy as hell if Tiff finds Keisha in the house of one of these creep ass hood dudes she be selling weed to. If she find Keisha in one of these houses that she be selling this weed to these dudes, I'm like, oh my God, fam. Like that's gonna be crazy. You know what I mean? If possibly Keisha is locked up in one of these creepy hood dudes' crib or whatever, and because these dudes be all into all type of foul, crazy stuff, as we saw in that episode 2 of the season, or episode 1 or episode 2, when what's the boy name? Luke James' character breaks into the trap house trying to look for Keisha for Kevin, and they got all the girls look like they getting drugged up and being like low key being sex slaves and all that up in the house with these men. I'm like, oh nah. Possibly Keisha could be caught up in something like that. Ain't no telling, right? Or in my mind, I'm thinking Keisha could have possibly be kidnapped by the little track coach she was dating. She was out here dating a little grown ass dude. He like little girls, like R. Kelly, waiting up at high school. Like they say, R. Kelly used to be waiting up at Kenwood, looking for all the girls. But he worked at the school. He was the track coach. I'm thinking he might have her, or he may have something to do with her being missing. Especially with him being interested in young girls and being so bold with it. He do it a lot, and he get away with it for a reason. So he could be into something darker or more sinister. I'm talking about the track coach. And he ain't forgot about getting his ass whooped by Reg. You know what I mean? And he possibly could know it came from somebody connected to Keisha, and he looking like, I need payback for this, Keisha, so I'm gonna snatch you up and kidnap you, and ain't no telling what's going on, right? And in this episode, we also see that young Kevin is growing up, right? He's becoming a man. He's maturing a lot. Because remember, Kevin once cared about what his friends thought about the girls that he liked. Hence, Maisha. He was concerned about people not liking Maisha or thinking Maisha was a big girl. He was concerned about his friends knowing that he liked her in season 2. But after taking Brandon's advice, Brandon, Jason Mitchell's character who was killed off this season, after he takes Brandon's advice from last season, he is more comfortable in thinking for himself and liking who he likes without his friends dictating who he dates. He not scared about his friends possibly clowning him for liking a girl, and he even goes as far he want to fight Jake when Jake keep calling her the B-I-T-C-H word. He ready to throw hands on his own homie. He like, hey man, watch that, because he's liking a girl. He's interested in a girl named Gemma, aka Little Angela Davis, aka Little Asada Shakur. Right, this little Asada / Little Angela Davis, right? Now, she is an interesting character because she is a woman who challenges Kevin. She pushes him to do better, to be better. She pushes him to desire more for himself and recognizes that, he got potential to be a great young man. She recognizes that, right? And while that is all good and fine and dandy, she also has this controlling nature about her. And as a man, I can notice it immediately. I'm looking at this like, oh, nah, fam. Hell no. I don't like this. I'm watching her how she interacts with Kevin, and she often oversteps her boundaries a whole lot. And she act like she's Kevin's mother, like she his mama, rather than his girlfriend or potential girlfriend. You know what I mean? She acting like she his mama. At times, Kevin can't even be himself around her. And I'm watching it. I'm like, damn, man, I don't like that, man. He got to change the way he talk around her, certain slang he uses. He can't talk with slang or nothing. And I'm looking like, man, I don't like that, because even when he talk, Kevin not being obnoxious, he not being profane around her at all. You know what I mean? But she want him to talk a certain way. And I was looking at Kevin like, man, if she don't like the way you talk as it is, keep it moving. Tell her she can keep it pushing. I'm gone, because I ain't like that, man. Like, y'all kids. And she wants you to use the King's English at all times, and she wants you to be perfect in your speech at all times. Like, she wants you to talk like you got a Harvard law degree. I'm like, bruh, if she don't go on with all this, man, I wasn't feeling that part. Like, she wants him to talk, like, use the King's English all the time, right? And what I notice is I'm thinking this. Gemma is from an affluent family. Her father got bread, like she said, He got money. He rich. She keeps saying her daddy rich, right? And I noticed with a lot of she may be playing to those respectability politics that rich black people often subscribe to. Rich or like upper echelon or upper class black people subscribe to, right? A lot of times, they can be very like militant in their approach, but at the same time, they still want black people to assimilate to the ideologies of white America quite a bit, right? And I'm talking about, the upper echelon or affluent black people that play those respectability politics. And she want Kevin to play that game too. And it's disturbing me, right? I don't like it at all. In fact, she's starting to annoy me a little bit. Like, damn, bruh. And I'm like, Kev, and the way she corrected him and all that, I don't like it. But then, I'm like, Kev, don't you ever let a woman have you cutting your phone off while your mama is calling you and trying to get in touch with you, your mama or any of your family. Don't have no woman have you out here cutting your phone off. Now, she didn't ask him to do it, but I felt like he had to do it to show Gemma that he was really serious about dating her or whatever. But I'm like, bro, don't do that. Don't be cutting your phone off, ignoring your mama's phone calls, especially in a situation where we don't even know where your sister is and we don't know what's going on with her. Hey, your phone needs to be on at all times to see what any possible leads could be to where your sister is. So I'm looking like, man, he got to cut that out, man. Also, man, in this episode, we get a glimpse of the two Chicagos that I often reference in videos that I talk about when I talk about Chicago on here, right? There are two Chicagos. There's a Chicago that I grew up in, the South Side, and you also have the Southeast Side and the West Side, right? The inner city, where the heart of the city, where a lot of the black folks live at, where all the black folks live at, where we congregate, where we converse with one another, and our culture is rich within, right? And then there's the other Chicago. The other Chicago is the North Side, downtown, Gold Coast, all those little areas like that are affluent, that are upper echelon, that are upscale, that are they're just riddled. They have a lot of affluence, a lot of money riddled throughout those neighborhoods. And the social economic factors are so different in these areas, and the people are completely different from each other. Where the people that live in the affluent neighborhoods won't dare step foot on the South Side or West Side or Southeast Side of Chicago. They won't ever come over to these neighborhoods, right? And they super scared. They won't set foot in these neighborhoods, right? But at the same time, like, they think that they serve as like a savior for a lot of the black kids in the neighborhoods that we live in, right? They think that they are God's gift to a lot of the poor black kids, right? And they think that they are these black kids' only hope to succeed in life, and they only hope to escape the South Side. You know what I mean? Like, because in the scene that I'm talking about, there's a scene where Kevin meets the donors to the school, of his school, right? The donors to his school. And these donors help underprivileged students attend the prestigious prep school by giving monetary donations. Kevin's teacher introduces him and says things like, Kevin he wouldn't ever be able to go here and without you all's help. He wouldn't ever be able to go here without the money from you guys, right? To make them seem like, oh my God, you're the savior for this young black boy. If it wasn't for y'all, his life would be in shambles. He wouldn't know what to do. He would just be misguided and misdirected, and his life would be falling apart if it wasn't for you all, you rich white people, to come save him. That's what it sounded like, right? And in a lot of situations, you have a lot of rich, affluent white people, or not even just white. It could be Asian or whatever. But you have a lot of these rich, affluent people, non-black people, who view the black kids as charity cases for them, right? Or talking points for when they want to brag about how much they give back to underserved communities or to the black communities so that they can look good in front of their politician friends or their other rich friends, right? Their efforts aren't really sincere. They're just trying to brag and talk about how much they give back and I help the poor kids in the ghetto so much. So they use it as a talking point to brag rather than be sincere with it, right? And speaking of that, we also see how black politicians play on black pain and tragedy with Otis Perry, aka Duda, right? And in this scene, he's running for mayor. I think he's mayor, I believe. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong if it's mayor. He brags about how he was this savior for Jake when his brother Reg succumbed to the streets, when he fell victim to the streets, and now he's adopting him to give him a better life and opportunity. And he snarkily says that other politicians need to be doing what he's doing with Jake. Like, y'all need to be doing what I'm doing. Look what I'm out here doing. Y'all need to be getting on my level. That's what he was doing, right? And we see this is all an act just for him to win the race for mayor. This is all an act. He's exploiting Jake's circumstances for his own personal gain, and as a black man, it's really foul to see. Like, damn, this foul as hell. We thought, you taking care of Jake. We like, okay, you a shiesty hood dude, like, but that was a noble thing to take care of Reg's brother after you got him after you allowed him to get murked out here, right? But I'm looking like you just trying to looking out for your personal gain. Also, we see Papa's father, a pastor, accepting what appears to be a bribe from Camille, who was Lena Waithe's character, and she is Otis Perry's opposition in the election to be Chicago's mayor, right? She comes and speaks to his congregation and gives a profound speech on why they should vote for her and what she experienced being a young girl from Chicago, a young black girl from Chicago, from the South Side. And in exchange for her giving her pitch to his congregation, and she gives him money. And it could be to influence his congregation to vote for her in the election, or to get his vote, or whatever, right? But we see that even in black churches, there's a lot of corrupt activity that be going on sometimes, right? And maybe she just giving a donation for the church, trying to look out for them. I'm like, damn, well, a lot of these politicians give money to these white institutions and white establishments to get the vote and all that. So why can't you give back to the black institution, or to the black folks in the neighborhood? Which is something I thought about, but in the end, I'm thinking, man, but we do know that there are corrupt pastors and corrupt churches in the black community. So it's interesting to see, man. But the two Chicagos thing, man, to see black people, how white people view black people, how black people view white people, and how we are just two separate people. We are separated. The city is separated in general because it's super segregated. But really dope episode. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I'm interested to see more. Machiavelli Mills TV. Peace.